Welcome, Trinidad and Tobago, to our News 4 report, a product of the Government Information Services Limited and the Ministry of Communications. I'm Joseph Lopez. Let's take a look at the headlines. Up to 5 national schools for children with special needs coming soon. Citizens come out in red, white and black. It's Patriotism Week. And the top netballers in the nation were on show at the Eastern Regional Indoor Sports Arena. We begin with word that there are plans to build up to 5 national schools for children with special needs and for those who are differently challenged. The revelation was made by Minister of Education, Dr. the Honorable Tim Gopi Singh, at a conference in recognition of World Down Syndrome Day.
This country's Down Syndrome Family Network held its annual conference at the Hyatt Regency Hotel in recognition of World Down Syndrome Day, which is celebrated on March 21st. Addressing the attendees, Minister of the People and Social Development, Dr. the Honorable Glenn Ramadasing, says the country could never attain its full potential if systems and procedures that contribute to the exclusion of so many in our society continue to be perpetuated. He says this is why the Ministry of the People and Social Development is working assiduously to roll out the national policy on persons with disabilities.
The policy articulates a holistic framework for achieving social inclusion, opportunities for all citizens. Indeed, the People's Partnership Manifesto promises to bring back, or pledges to do so, the differently abled as equal members of society. Our policy objectives is to ensure the equal enjoyment of all human rights by persons with disabilities, to ensure equality of opportunity, to create a social, economic, political, and physical environment for full participation, to encourage self-reliance, eliminate marginalization, and to provide opportunities for a better quality of life overall.
Meanwhile, Education Minister Dr. Tim Gopi Singh says his ministry continues to place special needs high on the education's agenda as a main priority. He reveals a study has been commissioned to determine how many children on average are enrolled in the education system and need special assistance.
The Ministry of Education, in conjunction with the Inter-American Development Bank, is now pursuing a rigorous research project in a scientific manner at a national level, having selected 8 early childhood education centers and 8 primary schools, with a team of investigators to determine the true incidence and prevalence of the various special need disorders, namely autism, dyslexia, attention deficit disorder, Down syndrome, behavioral, emotional, and psychological abnormalities, and visual and hearing difficulties.
He says under the instruction of the Prime Minister, the Honorable Kamala Prasad Desasa, the Ministry of Education plans to embark on the construction of up to 5 national schools for special and differently abled children. The Education Minister says this will aid in ensuring children with special needs throughout the country have access to professionals with the requisite knowledge in assisting them.
We will have a larger cadre of clinical instructors in terms of educational psychologists, behavioral psychologists, clinical psychologists, occupational therapists, etc., audiologists, optometrists in these schools, and so that we be able to continue to manage these children in different parts of the country.
Minister Gopi Singh says the education of children with special needs is important. He insists it is another way to ensure our nation achieves progress and sustainability. Gregory McBurney, News 4.
Patriotism Day has been welcomed by nationals of Trinidad and Tobago as an opportunity to show their love for the country. This comes as an initiative of the Ministry of National Diversity and Social Integration as a means of evoking a sense of pride in the hearts of citizens, especially in uneasy times.
God bless a nation of many varied races, of many varied races.
thousands of citizens heeded the call to observe as a nation the first ever Patriotism Day. The Ministry of National Diversity and Social Integration recognized March 18th to 24th as Patriotism Week in Trinidad and Tobago. The observance is an opportunity to inspire national pride and evoke a sense of belonging among the culturally diverse citizenry. Emerging from the launch of the week of activities is Patriotism Day, which is celebrated on the third Friday of each month between March and August. On this day, citizens were called upon to wear the national colors and display their sense of pride in one form or the other. The Honourable Minister also called on citizens to put aside their differences and embrace their nationality.
Let us all be like our national flag, a beacon of strength, of unity of purpose, and of the wealth of the land as represented by the black diagonal. Let us be the force of vitality, warmth, courage, and friendliness of the people as represented by the red. Let us be the symbol of the cradle of our heritage, the purity of our aspirations, and the equality of men and women under the sun as represented by the white. Let us join our hands and hearts and lift ourselves to be truly inspired and forged as one united, vital, free, and dedicated people.
Locals have been known to show their love for country at Carnival and other major events during the year. However, the minister sees Patriotism Week and Patriotism Days as another means of reminding citizens of the importance of accepting and participating in events that bind nationals together. On Saturday, the ministry will host a heritage walk around the Queen's Park Savannah, which is an open opportunity for the national community to band together and celebrate their uniqueness. Nikolai Edwards, News 4.
After the break, we tell you why the people of Couva South are celebrating. Stay with us. Welcome back. Member of Parliament for Couva South, Rudranat Indarsingh, says he is elated to see the progress being made in the development of his constituency. This after a main recreation ground in the constituency was outfitted with proper lighting.
Night cricket and early morning jogs were about to become a thing of the past in the Milton area of Couva. However, with the intervention of MP Indarsingh and Public Utilities Minister the Honourable Nizam Baksh, residents now have a fully lit recreation ground whose facilities they can enjoy. Speaking after the installation of the lights, Minister Indarsingh says the area is seeing a lot of development despite it not being the main hub of the Couva area.
Extremely elated because this is what you would call not a mainstream community. Milton is on the outskirts of the constituency of Couva South, but it is a community that is seeing now that the programs and policies of the government is being rolled out to their benefit. This particular ground, the science complex under the Ministry of Science, Technology and Tertiary Education, the children's hospital, the sporting facilities in the vicinity of the Atto Boland Stadium, the National Aquatic Center, the Velodrome Center, and of course the infrastructural work that is happening on the Mount Pleasant Road and so on through the Ministry of Works and Infrastructure, the pure divisions.
Minister Indarsingh is guaranteeing that any other issues which his constituents may have will surely be addressed. He says it is just a matter of time as resources must first be acquired, then be properly allocated.
Because on an annual basis, in terms of the allocation of resources, it has to be spread within the framework of 41 constituencies. Because at the end of the day, my brothers and sisters, this is a government that is committed to a sense of ensuring that there is equality in the distribution of the resources of this country across the 41 constituencies.
The Couva South MP also delivered great news to residents when he informed them that a main carriageway will soon be restored. The Balmain-Calcutta Bridge collapsed several months ago, and Minister Indarsingh says it will soon be repaired.
A contract has been awarded through the Ministry of Works and Infrastructure under the jurisdiction of NETCO, under the supervision of NETCO, so that that bridge could be reconstructed for the and it benefits this community also, for those of us who go into the Balmain, Freeport, Calcutta area.
Gregory McBurney, News 4.
A newly paved $4.7 million road was commissioned by the Ministry of Works and Infrastructure at Antilles Trace in San Francisco. Minister Emmanuel George says this was just the start of additional infrastructural works to be undertaken in the area for 2013. Minister George says over $90 million will be spent on infrastructural development in the constituency of Oropouche West.
This is an ongoing work of the ministry. The repair and rehabilitation of the roads in the various constituencies, and as my colleague minister also pointed out, we're doing work in all of the constituencies in Trinidad, all 39 of them.
The construction activity of the new highways, one from San Fernando to Princestown, one extending the Solomon Hochoy Highway from Wallerfield East past Sangre Grande.
The works will be spread through all of the 39 constituencies in Trinidad, and I have the list here that says that we're going to be doing work totally some $13 million in Arima, some $11 million in Caroni Central. In Couva South, we're doing some $6 million worth of work. W O'Meara, some $5 million. Diego Martin Central, we have some $10 million of work to be done there. In Diego Martin West, $4 million. In Paisabat, $17 million. In La Brea, in La Roquette, in Lavantil, and so on. So we're spreading the work all over the constituencies of Trinidad.
Minister Emmanuel George says citizens can look forward to other projects totaling about $288 million within the next year. The MP for San Francisco area, Stacey Rupnerine, says this new road signals an historic day for residents of Antilles Trace and environs.
This is really a historic day for the people of Antilles Trace because it is the first time in the history of this country that they have gotten their road paved.
She says it is really a major connector road, since Antilles Road takes you from the San Francisco Main Road out into Tennant Trace, which takes you into Woodland.
So it is really a connector road. It is a bypass road for a lot of vehicular traffic. And so I know that this road will be very well utilized.
MP Stacey Rupnerine says the ministry has also begun paving major connector roads in a bid to get traffic to filter through the back roads. Up next, Wayne Cunningham has the latest in sports. Stay with us. Welcome back. The top net bowlers in the nation won show at the Eastern Regional Indoor Sports Arena when the knockout tournament in the Premiership Division of the All Sectors Netball League was contested. News 4 Sports was there, and here's Wayne Cunningham with the action.
Police, the Defense Force, Fire Service, UTT. The top 4 teams in Trinidad and Tobago netball came to battle on Thursday for the Premiership Division knockout title in the All Sectors Netball League. In semi-final number 1, Police faced the Defense Force, and it was the military on the board first. Following good work in defense by Kinja Phillip and Crystal George, Carleen Sylvester showed she still had the touch to give her team the early lead. Sylvester's mobility may be hampered by some long-term knee injuries, but the eye for goal was still there. She ended with 10 goals from 21 tries. With Carleen looking dangerous, Police head coach Wesley Gomes was forced to make some changes, bringing in Gersha Grant at goal shoot and switching Joelisa Cooper to goal attack. And it worked, as those two started to hit their shots. The Defense Force at the same time went cold. Kimari James scoring only 2 goals from her 7 attempts. Cooper was the game high scorer with 14 from 21. And Grant contributed 7 from 12 tries as Police ran into the final with a 22-13 win. Semi-final number 2 was a highly anticipated clash between UTT and Fire. The university's Daystar Swift getting on the board here. But it was Fire out to an early lead with Aisha Norman pulling the strings at center. Fire was playing at a different level. Jeline Richardson ending the move started by Kayleen Lewis. Simone Morgan at the end of another fine Fire move as they ran away with the first half lead, 16-11 the score. UTT never recovered from that early run, despite the efforts of Daystar Swift, who scored 11 from 19 attempts. Jelisa Allain had the same exact stats as her partner, which was not enough to challenge Fire. Morgan was the game high scorer with 21 goals from 32 tries. Janelle Richardson played well in support at goal attack, scoring 8 of her 13 as Fire romped into the final with a 29-22 victory. There, the Police was waiting, and the score was even early in the first half. But Police pulled away as the half neared completion with Gersha Grant at shoot and Jolisa Cooper at attack. During the break, the UTT crew had a mini celebration for one of their players. They would have to share the cake and ice cream with their counterparts from Fire Service as they went on a rampage in the second half, with Afisha Noel coming on and taking over the match. She shot an amazing 99%, scoring 17 of her 18 attempts. Simone Morgan had 8 from 15 to 8 Fire's march towards the title, but it was Noel doing all the second half work. 6 of 14 from Gersha Grant and 12 of 19 by Cooper was not enough for Police as Fire Service took the Premiership Division Knockout Trophy in the All Sectors Netball League. Wayne Cunningham, News 4 Sports.
When we return, agriculture continues to be of major concern to the government. Stay with us. Welcome back. Agriculture continues to be of major concern to the government, from the reduction of the food import bill to the distribution of lands to farmers. The Food Production Ministry continues to fulfill its promise.
Bid to fulfill its promise of placing the agricultural sector at the forefront, the government of Trinidad and Tobago has distributed lands for agriculture in Orange Grove. Speaking at the distribution ceremony at the Ken Gold Hall at the Center of Excellence, Minister Jairam Simangal reiterated government's commitment.
This government, the People's Partnership Government, have placed a heavy emphasis on agriculture. It is not by chance that the Prime Minister, in her wisdom, appointed 2 ministers to the Ministry of Food Production. It is because of the importance that this government is placing on food and the importation of food and food prices, and in particular, food security. And this is the first step that has been taken in this area, the Orange Grove area, to empower you, the farmers, in acquiring a lease for the property in which is assigned to farming and the production of food.
Minister Simangal also took time to praise the young people for taking part in the agricultural sector.
This process is the beginning of a transformation of not only that area in food production, but it's the beginning of the transformation of empowering you all. And I'm so happy to see so many young people included among you. For it is felt now, actually the World Report on Agriculture is that the age of agriculture is at an average of 55 years old. That means that it's a dying trade. But I'm very happy to see so many young faces and so many vibrant faces here this morning to be part of this process for the selection of lots into the Orange Grove farm. So I want to congratulate all of you.
Also speaking at the distribution ceremony, Food Production Minister, the Honorable Devant Maharaj, says his ministry is working hard to educate farmers.
The infrastructure is there to support you and your efforts. And of course, if there's anything else that you require assistance with, the ministry's office is always ready and available to meet and discuss with you in order to ensure that you fit into the government's program of making Trinidad and Tobago a food secure nation. We have empowered NAMDEFCO this year like no other year before. Farmers are now exporting products to Barbados. We are looking at St. Lucia, and I'm told that they're even looking at Canada for pineapples. So the marketing component of whatever you grow would be supported by NAMDEFCO as well. So speak to the folks at NAMDEFCO, hear what they could do for you. So all the support mechanisms in order to make sure that agriculture is no longer a subsistence enterprise, but more or less a business where you could make a fairly decent return. I think at one meeting I heard somebody say that they want to see farmers driving Benz and so on, and I think that should be the target you are looking for, to make agriculture as economically viable for you all in terms of the profits and so. And the ministry via its incentives and the state agencies with their support mechanism are all geared towards that goal.
Nicola Barito, News 4.
And that story brings us to the end of our News 4 report, a product of the Government Information Services Limited and the Ministry of Communications. I'm Joseph Lopez. Thank you for watching.